back of her head and pulled the trigger. Sonia was gunned down. And when Nono and Michael tried to... Did you know there's an NBA player who skipped workouts to commit murder? Or what about the player that put a hit on his own wife?
Or a woman was kidnapped and killed by former NBA star. Las Vegas police say this is what they call a murder execution.
I was reckless. I'm sorry. I take full responsibility.
These are NBA players who literally killed people. And first, we gotta talk about the time J.R. Smith accidentally killed his best friend. See, in 2007, J.R. Smith was driving recklessly with his best friend, Andre Bell, when all of a sudden, their lives changed forever.
Nobody would ever think JR would ever kill nobody. And I still want to know, where JR to this day?
As JR was going 67 in a 35, he blew through a stop sign
Why
and crashed right into another car.
Fortunately, you get into a car accident, right? One of your friends passed, right?
Yeah, best friend.
Your best friend passed. Did you think it was over?
Yeah, I thought it was a wrap. Like, when I went to jail, it was like I ain't never coming back from this shit.
Andre Bell was gone forever. And while JR was on the verge of serving 90 days in prison, he had one final message.
I talked to my mother about it, my father. I mean, I can't talk to Dre. I mean, it's unbearable to deal with. And I am deeply sorry. I never intended this to happen. Dre is like my brother, just like Jamal, Kenny, and Demetrius. I take full responsibility for everything that happened. I mean, I know it's not going to bring him back. I apologize to everybody. I apologize to Mrs. Bell.
But why are you going 67?
If that was my
67
I thought
in the
about
35.
it. I dreamt about it. Right after the accident, me and my mother had...
In the 35, isn't that like close to like the school zone? No. Scratch that. That's close to like a neighborhood type speed. So you're going a neighborhood speed and you're going 67? Come on. Y'all had been drunk at that time. You had to.
That's sad as hell. Well, JR was eventually sentenced to 90 days, but he only served 30 days, as the remaining 60 days were counteracted by him serving 500 hours of community service, visiting sick children at multiple hospitals. Now, no matter what good he did during that time period, there was so much more bad, because JR got his license suspended for 2 years and had to deal with the fact that he killed his best friend forever. But at least it wasn't on purpose, because the Kings G League player teamed up with his girlfriend to brutally murder an innocent woman. See, in 2023, Chance Camache was grinding in the G League, trying to earn an NBA contract with the Sacramento.
You're telling me he wasn't even fully in the NBA, and he wasn't in the G League trying to get there, and you tell me he committed a crime with his woman? Oh my God.
But one day, everything changed, because Chance was arrested in connection with the Las Vegas murder of 23-year-old Morena Rogers. Nobody on the Kings knew this, but Morena had been reported missing on December 7th. And just 2 days earlier, he had arranged to meet Chance and his ex-girlfriend, Sakari Harnden. That meeting would be the last time Morena was seen alive.
New video obtained by Fox 5 shows the final moments before a woman was kidnapped and killed.
I want to know, like, what made her go to that meeting in the first place.
Video show Harnden and Rogers
and what made the almost NBA player kill that girl with his girl? Your girl help you murder someone? Who does that?
The white pants there. The day Rogers was killed on December 6th.
At first, Sakari was charged with kidnapping, but then police made a horrifying discovery. Morena's remains were found in Henderson, Nevada. Now, investigators say this wasn't random, because apparently there was evidence of planning before the killing. Police believe the motive was tied to information Morena allegedly had about another murder in California. And when that information got back to the wrong people, they say Chance and Sakari targeted Morena.
They said Rogers and Harnden knew each other through their work as prostitutes, and that Harnden allegedly implicated her boyfriend in a double murder in California. And Harnden was upset at Rogers for telling other people about that. As for the former NBA G League Stockton Kings player, Comanche, police say he and Harnden dated for a few months about a year and a half ago and kept in touch. And Harnden told police Comanche was in love with her and would do anything for her.
But here's the most disturbing part. According to court documents, Chance allegedly confessed to strangling Morena, and he wasn't acting alone, because there were also reports of a third person, Chance's former teammate.
So, it wasn't just Chance and his girl doing this. He had another NBA player actually done this? At this point, I'm about to throw away this headphone because there's no way I've done this.
Playing parts of the murder. Now, even though Chance has pleaded not guilty, the case is still ongoing. So there's a chance he'll go from chasing a two-way contract to facing life in prison. But some NBA players completely spiraled out of control. Like the time former Charlotte Bobcats player killed an innocent mother. See, Javaris Crittenton had real NBA talent. He was a first-round pick who got off to a good start in the league, but he was cut quickly. And instead of trying to come back and be the best player he could be, he completely spiraled out of control. And in 2011, Javaris spent one night in a club that would absolutely ruin his future. Because Javaris met Atlanta rapper Dollar. And through that relationship, Javaris was introduced to gang members from the Crips, who he eventually claimed affiliation.
What? Come on. The NBA supposed to be a way out of the hood. Not a way to get quick money and then go right back into the hood.
To prove it. Well, this was just the tip of the iceberg for Javaris' downfall. Because around the same time, he was already in headlines with the infamous locker room gun incident with Gilbert Arenas and got released from the team. Well, Javaris eventually returned to Los Angeles. But by then, many of his old friends were either in jail or dead, and his life got a lot worse. At one point, a 17-year-old rival ROC gang member known as Little Tick allegedly robbed Javaris of a $25,000 necklace and a $30,000 watch. So Javaris wanted revenge. One day he got in his car, searched for Little Tick, and right when he saw him, he fired away. But instead of hitting his intended target, Javaris killed an innocent bystander.
How you miss? So you're telling me that you were trying to get revenge on Little Tick, and then you going, instead of actually shooting the right target, you shot a stand-byer. How you shot a stand-byer? That don't make no sense.
Who also happened to be a mother of four.
Atlanta 911 emergency operator 44.
To make them drive, and they had a drive-by.
And you said you know who did the shooting?
Yeah, the basketball player.
I actually survived this and not
when police investigated the evidence, they later found gun residue and Javaris' fingerprints in the car. And as Javaris tried to board a flight back to Atlanta, authorities arrested him before he could leave the airport. But some NBA murders are accidental, because we got to talk about the Jason Williams tragedy. See, Jason Williams was a former All-Star with the New Jersey.
Y'all know who Jason Williams? Like, do y'all know like the older NBA player? I know a couple. But I don't know a lot of them.
But in 2002, one nice stay at home became his forever nightmare. Jason was given a tour of his mansion to a youth basketball team and his limousine driver, Kostas Christofi. Well, at some point in the tour, Jason decided to show off his gun collection.
And I had my shotguns from my machine in there, and there was a bullet still in one of the shotguns from shooting skeet earlier in the day. I take responsibility. I'm not gonna say somebody did that, and that. I'm supposed to look down the barrel. I was showing people guns. Here goes a gun. Here, look at this one. You know, this coach gave me this. This is beautiful. And when I went to snap the gun closed to hand it, I didn't even know that Mr. Christofi was in the house.
So he knew the bullet been in there, but when he snapped the gun, he didn't know that the bullet actually went off and shot someone. So you can't blame him for actually killing someone.
It hit Mr. Christofi in the chest, and it killed him instantly.
Jason's entire world stopped. And what happened next made things 10 times worse. Jason panicked and began to think of a cover-up story.
I then ran out the house.
So you're telling me you think of a cover-up story, but you didn't mean to kill him. So why didn't you just go and tell the cop or told someone that you accidentally killed someone? Even though you're going to go to jail, you're not going to go to jail for that long.
I jumped into the swimming pool. Came back up, and we called 911 instantly after it happened. But I just panicked. I did a cowardly act of not staying there after an accident and taking it. I tried to cover it up.
And try to hide the body.
I ended up going to
accountability
for this
and stay in the accident.
The trial took 8 years. I ended up going to jail for aggravated assault. We know is.
See, I knew it. It was an accident. You wouldn't even been in jail for that long. You probably wouldn't even go in jail at all. But for you to try to cover up and hide a body after an accident made you guilty.
They have their family that's
Yeah.
I'm not saying that suffices. Because you took everything a man has and everything he's gonna have for the rest of his life.
Didn't.
He just got out of where a bad situation in his life where he's coming out to get his life together where I'm going in now. He didn't have any family.
This is like the first one out.
She forgave
maybe
me.
14.
I don't know if it was more of a letter she gave me. She never came up and told me. She's probably still angry with me. And I understand that.
But when authorities arrived on the scene, they booked him. And Jason was later convicted on 4 counts of covering up the shooting. Now, even though Jason was acquitted of aggravated manslaughter after multiple trials, eventually, Jason ended up pleading guilty to aggravated assault and served 18 months in jail. But Jason's time in prison wasn't nearly as bad as the pain he carries still to this day.
It was 8 years of every day seeing your lawyer.
I don't blame him.
Some days
why did you put the bullet in the gun? And even if you didn't put the bullet in the gun, why didn't you take the bullet out the gun? There's so much issue that going on in this story.
In his family, so it was just a bad time for everyone. I've caused a lot of pain, Vlad. I caused a lot of pain in that situation. I know you want to stay here and at this situation and go by it detail for detail. I was reckless. I'm sorry.
Reckless.
I take full responsibility.
And you should think
I pay my debt to society.
Before you even
and
touch
there's
that
not a day that goes by where I don't think that I did enough.
Now, there's some deaths that could have been prevented. Like the argument that pissed off Keith Appling so bad, he gunned down his own family member. See, Keith was a star at Michigan State and eventually signed with the Orlando Magic in 2016, but it was short-lived. And after only playing 6 games for the Magic, he ultimately...
That's why a lot of people don't remember him. Because if he signed with the Orlando Magic in 2016, then that means he'll be a part, like, maybe on level with Curry, LeBron, and them players.
After that season. But 5 years later, basketball wasn't what Keith was known for anymore. Because one spring day in May of 2021, everything turned dark. Keith got into an argument with Clyde Edmonds, his 66-year-old family member, over a handgun outside of his family's home. And the situation got complete.
Now we get into detail. We're getting into family arguing with family.
And shot Clyde, killing him in front of the whole family. Well, Keith had no alibi and knew he had to flee the scene. But when police caught up to him, it was over for Keith. He pleaded guilty to manslaughter and currently faces 18 to 40 years in prison.
It's a tragic tale of a star's fall from the spotlight. Former MSU basketball player Keith Appling will spend the next 18 to 40 years of his life behind bars. All this for shooting and killing his own relative almost 2 years ago. On Friday, a judge delivered his fate as Appling stood before the court attempting to withdraw his plea, which was quickly denied.
I would like to withdraw my plea.
Why is the bullets be in the gun? Why the mag have to be in the gun? Like, for me, I'll probably have the bullet next to the gun and then wait for that moment to load it up just in case if I need a gun.
Except for the murder, Your Honor, I didn't fully understand the plea at the time, and I didn't have enough time to...
You sure you didn't understand? You sure about that?
I know this next player is still haunted by this murder because a Boston Celtics player ran over 2 young college students. See, in 1992, Carl Smith had it all. He was living out his dream as an NBA forward for the Boston Celtics, and one night decided to celebrate. So he got in his van, went to the bars, and partied all night. But instead of calling a cab home, he made the worst choice of his life.
When was the last time y'all actually celebrate with your friend at the Royals game?
He decided to try and drive home, and on his way back, 2 Boston University students were crossing the street, and Charles didn't see them. Both women were dead on impact, and Charles realized what he had just done. So instead of calling the police, he drove off, committing a hit and run. Well, because Charles was drunk, there was one problem he didn't factor in. The fact that there were diehard Celtics fans all around the scene who knew exactly who he was. So witnesses told police, who later arrested Charles, charging him with drunken driving, vehicular homicide, and leaving the scene of a crime. It was sentenced to 4.5 years in prison. But this next player got his heart broken and snapped because one Spurs player decided to murder his ex's new boyfriend. See, after Lionel Marchetti was selected by the Spurs in the 1981 draft, he ended up never playing a single minute. So instead, he decided it was time for a new career and became a police officer. Lionel packed his bags and moved down to Florida, where he decided to build his new life and eventually met the love of his life, life, Sieglinde Sperber. Lionel was over the moon with Sieglinde, and the two dated for 10 years. Until one day, Sieglinde had enough. She ended things with Lionel and shattered his world. Lionel was told he had to pack his...
Huh? So you're telling me y'all been together for 10 years, and then you up in the shower and broke this man's heart. Why would you break this man's heart for? Come on, little girl.
And move out immediately. And eventually he spiraled out of control and was unable to accept that his relationship was over. Then one day, Lionel went over by the house to go fish somebody's favorite pond and saw Sieglinde walking out of the house with her new boyfriend, who just happened to be their former handyman. And when he realized what was going on, he pulled out his gun.
Oh, so that's why he got mad. Because now he realized that his girl left him for the handyman. The handyman that went working for them.
What happened when you got there?
Spill the beans.
You hear things, you see things, you talk things, and you ask questions. I always ask you, what is it with you?
Yeah.
And since we moved there, he would always come around when I wasn't there. And they were speaking about
you wouldn't there.
See this white truck all the time. I'm like, okay. So I asked her. Well, yeah, he bought a dog from her. And
a dog.
Something happened to the dog. She replaced it. He's a plumber. He does handiwork. He loves his job.
Yeah.
It was just odd, and just the way they behaved around me.
It actually feel odd when your girl is not feeling you and not loving you, then you end up realizing that your girl is really cheating on you.
It's none of your business, or she would just lie. And I lost it. I lost it. Like I saw
so you lost it because your girl cheated on you, and you couldn't take that feeling, so you going and murdered the boy.
After interrogation, Lionel was charged with murder and received life in prison without the possibility of parole. But if there's one player that knows jealousy, it's Michael Niles, because he killed his wife because she made more money than him. See, in 1980, Michael Niles played one season with the Spurs, but that was it. He was bounced from the league and began looking for work, but for years he couldn't find anything.
Damn! So you tell me you played 1 year with one NBA team, and then you got cut, and now you trying to find work? Wait! Oh no! He didn't get cut from the team. He got cut from the league.
When basketball ended, so did the spotlight. Meanwhile, his wife Sonia had a steady job as a prison guard and was the one supporting their family. But this completely emasculated Michael, and that ate at him. His frustration turned into jealousy, and his jealousy turned into something way darker. A plot to end his wife's life. So instead of coming up with a plan to get a job, Michael...
No. You're telling me you're jealous of your wife's career? You're messed up, you're slow, and stupid. Who does that?
Came up with a sinister plan. There was a $100,000 life insurance policy on Sonia, and Michael offered $5,000 of it to anyone who was willing to kill her. So he ended up connecting with an armed gang member named Noel No Jackson, who agreed to do the deed. The plan was Michael would let No inside his home and wait for Sonia to come home from work. And as soon as she got home, No ambushed Sonia, and she ran out the house, eventually making it across the street. But he caught up to her, tackled her, pressed a 12-gauge shotgun to the back of her head, and pulled the trigger. Sonia was gunned down, and when No and Michael tried to drive off,
I'm sad because there's no way in hell he killed her.
Michael's car leaving the scene. So police arrested him the very next day, and both Michael and No were convicted of murder, with No being sentenced to death. And in one last attempt to free Michael from the death penalty, jurors were shown his NBA highlights in the courtroom. But ultimately, Michael's fate was worse than death, because he had to live with the fact that he orchestrated his own wife's execution, the woman who loved and took care of him, all over money and ego.
Yo, if that video was wild, you haven't seen anything yet. I put my funniest reaction right here in this playlist, and YouTube thinks you love this special video next. Click one of those, hit the sub button if you are new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.